you're made of things. I'm trying to reconstruct the air and all that brings. And oxidation is the compromise you own. But this is beginning to feel like the dog wants a bone. Say your methods start the disconnect from all your creeds. As fortune strives to fill the vacuum that it feeds. But this is beginning to feel like the dog's lost the lead. Say
back again for the 6th time with an I'm back video. You know, it is what it is. I'm not perfect, and I guess it's how I deal with things, where I decide to kind of take myself out of the spotlight and then deal with life's experiences and then kind of come back to YouTube. So I apologize if it's not what you're kind of hoping for with pure consistency, but that's just kind of who I am, and I appreciate if you still stick around to continue to watch my journey in life. That's what YouTube is, especially my channel. It's just been documenting, you know, my life in terms of mainly bodybuilding. And then I took a step away from bodybuilding, kind of figuring life out. And now I'm posting on YouTube for the first time in a couple months, so I'm back. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm doing good, doing really good now. A new era that I want to dive into is going back to aesthetic Anthony. When I was 17 years old, I think I really had this peak aesthetic look that I loved. There was this fun in training, a fun in dieting, where I wasn't having to push to such extremes that I guess bodybuilding was demanding out of me. And that's why I decided to kind of take a step away from competitive bodybuilding and not really see it in my future. I think some people's physiques can't flourish and shine due to having to hit bodybuilding's criteria, whatever the 3 categories you may fall into: men's physique, classic, and bodybuilding. Quick rundown, right? Men's physique, you have weight caps. Classic, you have weight caps. And certain people's physiques, you know, they may not have that tiniest waist to fit into men's physique with the broad shoulders and big chest. But in general, if they just were to bodybuild and work out for themselves without competing, they could hit maybe a weight cap higher than their weight cap and have their physique shine to the best it can. So that's pretty much where I decided to go with my bodybuilding journey. Yes, I'm back to bodybuilding. I never will take bodybuilding out of my life, as I think it's part of my, you know, health and fitness, something I enjoy doing as a hobby. And I decided to take that step away from competing, so I don't have that pressure to fit the criteria and push my body to the high demands that they're kind of requiring you to. I don't think my body is capable. You can say straight up, like I'll say it, you know, my genetics aren't good enough for what they're asking in the competitive realm. So that's something I kind of realized, how to really let it sink and really marinate in my own brain. So I had to understand that, so I can now take that step away with peace and not be hard on myself that, man, you know, my identity for these past years was competitive bodybuilding, road to pro, you know, competing every few years, but I still love bodybuilding and I still want to showcase my physique, and that's what I'm doing now. You know, I plan to continue to bodybuild and reach new heights to my physique, but without pushing it to the crazy degree that competitive bodybuilding could make you push to. You know, my genetics personally, as I've become self-aware, for some reason, man, I think I have like heavy bones, because I was at the cap of my weight cap when I turned pro, 202 pounds. And there's people that are way lighter than me that, you know, look denser. And I could push, you know, try to make that weight cap, But if my bones are dense and stuff like that, and I'm not filling out my frame to these other competitors, you know, if you're not first, you're losing. And I didn't want to continue to push and, you know, diminish my health for a sport that doesn't necessarily give back. I want to enjoy the hobby without having that pressure. And that's pretty much where I'm at now, is going back to that aesthetic era Anthony without having crazy water retention or crazy weight gains. It's more so about having a physique that I'd like to show off kind of on the daily and not having only the grace period of being maybe when I was 4 to 6 weeks out. I'm like, I love my physique here, because you know, when you're past 4 weeks out, at least for me, life sucked. And I wanted to have that happy balance of having a nice lean physique, but full muscle bellies, but also having energy to be able to do life's task and not have my health be absolutely in the gutter. So that's pretty much where I'm at now. And I'm excited to be able to showcase that to you guys, because I loved being aesthetic, man. Not having that crazy bodybuilder look, but having the full delts, the back, the abs kind of year round. And that's pretty much where I'm gonna be at, sculpting my physique for myself and be able to showcase it kind of year round without having to compete and that be my main spotlight for the year of just competing. So I apologize for always going MIA and then being on back and then kind of being away for a bit. I guess it's just part of, you know, who I am, and unfortunately trying to get better, because I would love to not do that. It's just a part of me, which I'm, you know, trying to figure out and continue to have to work through. But it is what it is at the end of the day, right? No one's the same, no one's perfect. We all have our flaws, but I'm really excited if you guys are still tuning into my videos, watching me on my journey in life and bodybuilding, because I'm excited to be documenting and showcasing this craftsmanship of bodybuilding. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a while, and I'm excited to see you in a few days.